Now, former Tshwane Mayor Murunwa Makwarela has been granted 10,000 rand bail. He appeared before the Specialised Commercial Crimes Court earlier today. Makwarela has been charged with fraud and uttering a forged document. He presented the document to the city of Tshwane, purporting it to be an insolvency rehabilitation certificate, but later it was shown to be a forgery. Makwarela has pleaded not guilty. Our reporter Pule Letshwiti-Jones following this story for us today, and he'll tell us exactly what happened in court today. Good afternoon, Pule. So, what was the main outcome in Mr. Makwarela's appearance in court earlier today?
Well, pretend Mr. Makwarela still feels, or rather says, he's done nothing wrong. In fact, he's pleaded not guilty. He handed himself over to the Brooklyn police station in Tshwane this morning, where he was processed and his fingerprints taken down before he was taken, or rather transported, to the Specialised Commercial Crimes Court in Tshwane as well. He's facing quite serious charges, including fraud and uttering as well. And the MPA says quite confident that this time around it's done a compelling job in terms of ensuring that they ensure that Mr. Makwarela, of course, is held to account. They were not opposing any bail, and the matter, of course, is expected to come again on the 2nd of May, where Mr. Makwarela is expected to appear again. But the Hawks are saying they're not ruling out the possibility of making any further arrests. In fact, they are still probing this matter further. Let's just take a listen to what the MPA had to say regarding the charges Mr. Makwarela is facing.
Mr. Makwarela is facing 2 counts of fraud. Okay, the other count is in relation to the fraudulent document he submitted, stating that he was rehabilitated. And the second count, which is the first count in this case, relates to the money that he was paid, the remuneration he was paid when he was employed as a speaker and a councillor at the city of Tshwane. That amount of money amounts to just a little bit more than of 1.4 million rands.
Tell us, why did you not oppose bail here this time around?
Because as the state, we had no grounds to oppose bail because he's not a flight risk. His address was confirmed, and he met all the requirements that warranted him to be granted bail.
How serious are these charges, Luka?
These charges are very serious because this offence is a Schedule 5 offence.
Fraud and forgery are very serious charges indeed, Pule. So what is the ANC saying about Makwarela for claiming that he was misled by some of his fellow councillors at the time?
Yeah, definitely. In one of the affidavits read by the state prosecutor during the court proceedings, Mr. Makwarela dropped explosive allegations, saying that he was ill-advised by some of the ANC officials as well. And of course, this is in relation to the submission and not disclosing the alleged fake insolvency certificate as well. And the ANC is quite upset about this. In fact, I spoke to some of the officials who were accused in that affidavit, and they're saying they've never even met Mr. Makwarela, and therefore they believe that the allegations he presented in court were unfounded. In fact, one of the officials I spoke to went to the extent of saying that he wanted to open a charge against Mr. Makwarela. And of course, this would then disrupt his bail processing if they were to open another charge against the former mayor of Tshwane. But let's just take a listen to what the ANC had to say regarding the allegations brought by Makwarela during the court proceedings.
It's very unfortunate. The ANC cannot do such a thing. I mean, in his own capacity as a doctor, he should have seen that the thing that he was submitting was fraudulent. I mean, how do you coerce a person above your level to submit such a thing?
But it's not the first time these allegations have surfaced or emerged. We saw it on Twitter as well through an account, and one of the leaders of the ANC, Hoshimaya, a former chairperson of the ANC in Tshwane, said it was fake. So clearly this must have come to your attention.
No, it's fake. I think Dr. Makwarela maybe is just making an excuse on the basis that it was once there on a social media platform. So it can be. I don't think a person of Dr. Maepa's caliber can really coerce a person into submitting something that is clearly fraudulent and, you know, amateurish. That thing, if you look at it, I mean, at face value, you'll see that that thing cannot be taken serious by any person.
And what about the city authorities, Pule? Have they welcomed the fact that Mr. Makwarela has now been arrested and has appeared in court?
Yes, indeed. In fact, the executive mayor of Tshwane, newly elected, Celia Brink, welcoming the arrest. You'd remember, Bradan, the city manager was one of the officials who instituted ensuring that they open a case against Mr. Makwarela, and of course working closely with law enforcement, including the Hawks. They've been quite abroad and abreast in terms of the fact that they want officials to be held to account, particularly with such serious charges, which includes fraud, and saying that it cannot be that the city's reputation is brought into disrepute. Let's just take a listen to what Mr. Brink had to say earlier on when we spoke to him regarding Mr. Makwarela's arrest in the morning.
There was evidently a fraud in that instance where a rehabilitation order was given to the city manager that was later discovered not to be real. I just hope that the police and the prosecuting authority act with the same swiftness with some of the other matters that we will be bringing to them in relation to the city of Tshwane.